This episode of the Cured Meats podcast is sponsored by the estate of the artist formerly known as Mince. The artist formerly known as Mince. Woo! The artist formerly known as Mince, proprietor of such songs as Purple Beef. The artist formerly known as Mince, singer of such classic hits as When Doves Fry and Purple Pork. His dulcet beefy tones will get you feeling minced like a beef chunk in a mincer. Bring a lady over and show her the mincy classic Purple Beef. If your beef is purple, send it back. It's fucked.
I'm going to crack into these.
I woke up at 1 p.m. Had a great day.
You know, those are the worst snacks for a podcast.
Just really loud.
Doritos.
Yeah, because you're going to be rustling the bag and then fucking crunching on them next to the microphone.
Yeah, it's true.
True. It's almost like I haven't done this before.
Welcome to the Cured Meats podcast.
With special guests.
I once saw the artist formerly known as Mince macking off with Pamela Anderson. It was hot, it was real, and it was purple.
Wow. Go time.
Episode 12.
Oh, it must be started.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello. Welcome back to the Cured Meats podcast, episode number 12. Unbelievably, we've done 12 episodes.
Of this.
A dozen.
And unbelievably, we have with us today a very special guest.
We have two guests.
His na-
Oh shit, I've ruined it. Edit it out.
In fact, go home.
Okay.
Firstly, we have Ollie, who's joining us today for the first time.
Good evening.
Long time listener.
Long time listener. First time caller in the flesh.
And secondarily, we have a genuine comedian with us. Because he actually, I think, knows how to make people laugh. Whereas we used to make people groan in agony when they listen to us normally. And in the end. We have Chris Norton Walker with us. Which I believe is one too many names for one human.
Yes, kind of, but I had to kind of differentiate myself a little bit, so...
Got a middle name as well?
Sort of made a bit of sense, yeah. So Frank would kind of had to do that, yeah.
So why have you actually come to do this?
I'm here because...
You're here for this, right?
Well, yes, and only this, and not that I have two other gigs in the evening, so I thought I'd pop in and do this on the way to those.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and you said, come along, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So far, so good. Yeah.
Great. And what meat have you brought with you?
Oh,
It's the big
This is the big question.
So I couldn't get the meat I wanted to get.
No.
Okay.
I went to the co-op, as you can see with this bag, and I wanted to get some pepperami.
Okay.
Have you had pepperami before?
We've spoken briefly about pepperami on the podcast before in the context of describing how bad it was in comparison to Biltong.
Sure, but aren't they kind of different?
They are
things?
quite different.
Yeah.
However, we were talking about Biltong. We didn't have any Biltong. We did have pepperami.
Okay.
So that's why the conversation.
That's why that happened.
So you sort of done pepperami a bit.
This is a podcast of people that don't actually really like cured meat very much.
The most vegan podcast.
We have had a vegan on.
Oh,
Yeah.
how did they
But
do?
then he revealed that he'd eaten a chicken nugget earlier in the day. So his credit is
Fake vegan.
quite.
Well, it's fake chicken as well, so it's
I suppose so. So I couldn't find anything fun. So I have bought with me, and maybe I need to apologise for it, I don't know. I've bought corned beef.
Corned beef.
Oh, that's a good noise.
There we are. Well,
minimum of 4 slices.
2 for £4.
What's the maximum slices you've ever experienced?
Well, how many slices are there?
Minimum
It says
4.
minimum 4.
Oh, that's weird.
There are, dear listener, it's one.
That's
That's one big massive.
It's been in the car for a little while, so it may have just amalgamated into one in the heat.
That's absolutely.
Oh, and it's coagulated.
It's coming off the side of the package.
No, you're not
Say what
selling
you
it
will
to
about the
people.
co-op, there are 5 slices in there.
Yeah.
Above and beyond.
Oh, an extra 25%.
They do go above and beyond.
They truly have.
We're
Do
not
we all-
sponsored by the co-op.
Do we all want one? now?
We can get to that maybe slightly. We'll chat about it for a bit and then maybe get to.
He's a stickler for the format.
I try desperately.
Stick to the structure. No more. No fun.
I'm desperately trying to keep it in line.
He's sliding coffee-stained scripts across the table.
It's a script.
So firstly, what is corned beef?
What is... I'm going to read
I've
the packet.
never
I don't
known.
know.
That's a good start.
What
Have
is
you
it?
had corned beef before?
I've never had corned beef.
Why?
I've never had corned.
You're in for a treat.
I've never
What
had
makes it
corned
corned?
anything.
Because
Do you reckon?
we've spoken about spam before on the podcast.
Yeah.
So that was a previous meat that we
Cool.
talked about.
It's similar.
I believe it's
guess.
kind of similar.
It's darker.
Do we want to Google why it's corned, or are we just going to
I'm getting
riff?
So as we know,
I love to explore the flavours.
as we know, spam is smushed,
Was it
pulverized, and mutilated. Is what spam stands for.
That's not what it stands for, but
So-
sure, okay. Yeah.
But corned beef sadly doesn't have an.
You're never going to be
acronym.
sponsored by Spam if you keep doing that.
Or pepperoni.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were the only podcast sponsored by Spam.
That'd be kind of a...
Unfortunately, we're not. I've sent them tons of emails, but they
Okay.
haven't got
They're
back
not
to
having
me.
it.
No.
They just went straight
This
to
is
the.
spam.
Oh, write it down. Write it down.
Clever one.
We're recording this.
Oh, do you want to write it down as well? I don't know.
This will live in infamy. This
Yeah. So this is apparently 98% beef.
Oh,
beef.
beef.
Fun.
If you're looking,
They should put that on the packet.
unfortunately, the fun is made up of salt and sodium nitrate, which is a preservative, I believe.
Oh.
And you know when
It says preservative. That's why I believe it.
and when things are preserved, what else? What other adjective might you use to describe that? Salted, cured.
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 That's what I said.
Yeah, gave away the ghost. It's cured.
Chris hasn't messed up. He's bought something sensible.
no.
It's bought cured meat, which
And
honestly
also-
is a low bar, but not one that we always hit.
It's often one which we don't surpass.
Oh, do people not bring something along?
Well, the last episode was about Chipotle chili, so
certainly is not meat.
we're going back up into the format.
Yeah.
Having maybe fallen off it a little
If you
bit.
don't bring a meat, you can't be on the podcast.
But we went too big at the start with glazed ham, and then only after finishing recording. That's like
That's the best
all
one.
of-
you
but it's also
peaked
like
already for that one.
it's
Yeah,
80% of all cured meats.
Yeah,
So we demolished our potential.
Didn't know what to do.
There wasn't much
It was a great
longevity.
episode.
It was the one and only podcast.
Yeah, it was a one.
As your attention.
This episode of the Cured Meats Podcast brought to you by Salt. Find it in the sea, find it in the ground, find it in a big pack of beef. It's Salt.
So, corned beef is salt cured brisket of beef.
Oh.
So not only is it cured, it's salt cured.
And what's a brisket?
No idea.
A cut, right?
It's a cut
type of
sorts, but
It is.
A
It's
bit
a
of the
cut
cow.
of meat from the breast or lower chest of beef or veal. There you go.
very good then.
These are the sort of deep factual information you get.
Now, if I recall from the Wikipedia page, there was a little dabble into myoglobin in the first paragraph, which I thought we should.
Yeah, I remember.
Don't
also.
ruin it. That's for another.
That's the
time.
yeah, we got half an hour on myoglobin.
We're back to the botulism again.
Oh, sorry.
Botulinum postulum.
As we spoke about, yeah,
Botticelli,
exactly.
isn't it?
The reason why we cure many of these meats is to cure against botulism. And there's a evil bacteria that is wiped out by the curing process.
Great, yeah.
There we are. Thank you very much, Salt and Curing.
Thank you, Salt. This one
Thank you,
goes out to
science.
Salt.
Yeah.
And
where was the process that developed?
no fucking idea.
Right here in the studio.
It's
I'm
sometimes
in Bristol, but like,
Oh, really?
No,
Is that
no.
where it started?
no, I don't know.
Oh,
history.
Here we go.
Although the exact origin is unknown, it most likely came through ancient Europe and the Middle East.
So not Bristol.
So not very
Yeah.
Christopher
Specific.
Columbus.
It's good, Bristol.
Pulled it over.
Oh, it's a low bar.
Yeah, it's minimum. We're bottom feeders at this point in this podcast.
The first and only pun. Yeah.
And obviously it's got a lot of history when it comes to the world wars. It was used
Yes.
as a many consumed food source by the troops.
That's true.
And by anyone else, everyone at home as well.
And much the same as spam, if you sort of smush it with your fingers, you can actually make a makeshift bullet if you're really in a bad spot.
That has been a really, really bad one. I've got no other ammo left. I could throw my gun at them, or I could smush them.
You get a perfect
cured meat.
headshot, but it's just like.
To be fair, you get the sharp edge of a can. It's
Oh,
quite
that's
dead
bad,
bad.
actually.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, a serrated, you know.
Yeah.
Have you ever been cut by a baked bean tin?
Have I ever?
All the time.
Every
All the
day of my
time.
life.
Brilliant.
Brilliant, absolutely.
Why do people eat corned beef?
Why do you eat corned beef? Why do you bring corned beef?
I bought corned beef because, as you can see, it's 2 for £4, and I thought it was nice and cheap.
I only brought
So
one.
you
though.
bought one.
Or is the other one in the car?
I had the other one. Well, no, I didn't buy 2 corned beef. That would be mental. I bought like some spiced. It wasn't spiced ham, just like kind of ham bits.
Ham bits.
Ham bits.
Ham bits.
I don't even like ham bits. I mean just like
ham bits.
No, I mean slices of ham. That's
Slices.
Yeah.
Slice didn't come to thought first. Bits.
I've had a 3.5-hour drive to be here. Bits.
Iota.
A bit of ham sandwich.
Although you can buy those kind of like, I don't know if you've seen them, like in Sainsbury's you can buy like a whole like tray, I guess, of, like just
A platter.
stuff.
Oh, like the
kind of-
bottom of the tray. Like when
Yeah,
they
yeah.
cut the slices, they sort of just scrape it off into a
Yeah.
bag and then.
But that's also what ham is, right? If you read the back of
True.
it says reformulated, which
Oh,
that's-
means they've blended
yeah.
it all
That's
up.
like
and,
chicken nuggets.
yeah,
so
smushed out fresh.
It's
So
smushed.
I don't even read the back. What I do is when I look at ham, I check for bubbles.
Bubble.
Yeah, reformulated.
That's
within
cheese.
the ham. There's like little bubble. You can see where the paste was.
You must be
air
fun
bubbles
to
in it.
shop with.
It's been said. It's been said. Yeah.
Oh,
And
he's
what sort of ham
checking bubbles again.
What sort of hams are you observing this happening to?
Brunswick.
This is
all sorts of
honey
hams?
roast,
Honey roast.
at least.
Okay.
At best.
What's it?
I've never seen this. Bubble.
Mustard glazed. Well, you gotta really look. You gotta really check.
Okay.
Pack a ham, even
Sure.
fancy, even taste the difference. It's sometimes.
bubbles.
Do you go with a magnifying glass just to check?
I was born with good eyes, so I don't need to.
What about that ham that's in like a face of a teddy bear with like?
That
That's-
terrifies
No,
me.
that's natural. They
That's
make pigs.
That's fresh.
They make pigs like that.
Yeah, they grow them
So
that
how
way.
do they? Do you reckon it's just a long tube of teddy bear? And
I do
they just
think.
kind of.
Yeah,
It's a bit like.
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
Have you heard of a long egg?
Oh,
That's how you get a long
yeah,
chicken.
I've seen long eggs.
You've seen long
Yeah.
eggs.
Oh.
Yeah, it takes a long
Oh.
chicken to get a long egg. That's
Yeah.
what they say in the business.
It'd be-
No, I reckon they do it like in old rock shops when they roll the candy, like they
Yeah,
roll
yeah.
the rock
Ooh,
up.
yeah.
I reckon it's just ham, but they sort of. There's an old guy that slaps it on a table and rolls it up. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why there's bubbles. You got to get aerate.
Yeah, it's a ham
the paste. Yeah, you aerate the paste.
Terrible. Because so a long egg is from multiple eggs that you've put into one egg. So you get
in the shell.
Is that always
no.
true?
So you separate out the different parts of the egg into
The
a
white
load
and
of
the
white
yolk.
and a load of
There's only
yolk.
2 real parts.
Yes.
That-
shell.
yeah, but those are different parts of the egg.
Yeah.
Arguably,
Yeah, I wouldn't say lots.
Factually.
I'll allow it for now to carry
So
on.
in that
Fake news.
in that form,
third egg part discovered.
The egg part just dropped.
is the little skin bit around.
Yeah.
Oh,
You gotta
that's
get the battle
disgusting.
pass.
Yeah.
So you separate out all of the white, all of the egg.
Yeah.
One egg on one egg on its own.
So the white in the egg.
Shush.
Hey,
The egg on its own is not a long egg. So you've got to make it with multiple eggs.
to make it
And
longer.
you pour all the white into the outside sort of cylindrical metal container, and the
And then cook
inside, all the yolks go into that cylindrical metal container. You then basically boil it like you're hard boiling an egg.
An egg.
or anything else. You can hard boil ham, I guess. I don't know.
You probably
Can
could
hard boil
hard-boil
anything else?
ham.
What makes it hard?
Sweets.
It's hard boiled sweet.
Ah.
Sweets.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so then you've got a long egg. You shove it out the side. You've just got one really long egg.
Really long egg.
Couldn't
Why?
you could just hardball an ostrich egg and then take a C-section?
C-section.
Well, it depends how big the ostrich egg is. And whether or not that's
Mutilate an
necessary. I mean, you could take a cross-section of an ostrich egg, use like a cookie cutter.
I thought
on
an
that.
ostrich egg was like 10,000 calories.
They're huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
Okay.
why. That's
How many do you reckon? How many cylindrical?
You can get a fair few out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
but
going to
that's-
get shorter and shorter.
Well, that's why my long eggs are all hexagons for better tessellation. But that's just a me thing. I don't know.
You just find you in the backyard with a cookie cutter, just
Yeah, that's exactly
cutting out
right.
different shapes. You
That's
get all sorts of
exactly
different
right.
shapes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how they make the
round egg
ham
goes in the round hole.
in
We're
that-
ticking over into the 10th minute of the round egg.
It's good stuff though.
Yeah.
Nobody else is talking about it.
This is new ground.
So you don't get this on other podcast.
Yeah.
Pioneering.
There's quite a lot.
Long egg. Long egg.
Long
Long
egg.
egg.
Uncharted waters.
Corned beef.
What do you get out of
This episode of the Cured Meats Podcast is sponsored by a singular cold chicken nugget. A singular cold chicken nugget. Find it in the fridge, eat it, get the shits, have a lot of regrets.
What do you get out of corned beef that you don't get out of other beef?
Probably corn. Predominantly.
Corn.
Yeah.
I guess. Don't know. Beef.
I don't know the answer to this question.
I think
it's just a starter
corn and
question.
beef, I think, since starting this podcast, I've begun to appreciate the potential of beef in a way that we all know about corn. Like, popped corn, you can have COTC, sweet corn on the cob. You can have some sort of corn paste for babies. There are so many, it's so versatile.
You could make corn paste with babies.
For babies.
Oh, for
For
babies.
babies, or for adults with a sweet tooth.
Long baby. Long baby.
Long baby.
It's a long corn to get a long baby. But in much the same way, beef is versatile. It's the first adjective that comes to mind after, of course, beefy being number one. Versatile's number two. Just based on the sheer number of practical applications.
Yeah.
Like what, Matt?
Like, wow. Allow me. I'm glad you asked you. Beef application number one. Scrumptious little snack.
Yeah.
Little treat. Little treat. Thank you. Beef application number two. Hearty meal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, still kind of under the umbrella of
Not many claps for that one. Yeah, sure.
Amuse-bouche.
Oh.
Which I only learnt the other day. Is like
What does that mean?
It's like a pre-starter. It's where you get a starter to your starter.
So like the bread.
So
So you enter the restaurant, they shove it straight in your mouth.
yeah.
It's like a
You get on the
dry
floor.
fry.
Yeah. You know how when you walk in a subway, they like push sandwich smells at you to make it
Yeah.
smell nice.
That's an amuse.
They've upgraded that. No, it's like a chocolate fountain, but it's just yeast and beef.
Oh, I wasn't. Oh,
Is it a river of beef somehow?
get
I
that checked
would
out.
like to
I
see it.
reckon.
Okay.
Doesn't sound great.
I'd like to see it.
Can you liquefy beef?
I certainly think you could.
Well, do you remember
Am I going to get pushed back on that?
there was a Top Gear episode once where they got an
certainly was.
engine and then
Oh,
they
I
used
see.
it to blend
Excel
up.
podcast, is it? Yeah.
They used it to blend up.
It's a Joe Rogan as well.
Don't
They
expose
used-
us. We've got to 11 episodes without this being a problem.
I don't
I think it was always a problem.
the engine's not the crux of that story to me. I feel like you could have just said, yes, you can blend it.
No, they do put a load of beef and other stuff in this big blender power bun engine and then drink it out of the...
Yeah?
exhaust. So, there we are. That's beef juice for you.
But surely that's like a one of those kind of pots where you kind of put on the
Like a
Side.
goo pudding.
goop.
What the fuck are you saying?
Hugh just revealed his middle class in that one statement. Like
Lost
a
touch with the common
pudding.
man.
I want to say, put it on the record right now, I've never bought or eaten a goo pudding.
Oh yeah, we've got time.
Yeah, well.
There's time.
Meat number 13, goo pudding.
I think beef could be a dessert.
In the middle of the goo.
I mean, you get like
Like a
soups.
Scotch
You
egg.
get like soups, don't you?
You get beef soups.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think
Do you?
if I had a
Of course you do. Like,
It's cooked.
yeah,
It's not,
raw.
The soup bit isn't, like the stock isn't beef.
No, the stock will be beef.
Well, no,
It's like the...
but not the whole beef.
Because you get beef stock.
I'm beef.
It's like
Well,
Marco, it's
yeah.
like Marco
I'm
Pierre
stocked
White
up on
and all
beef,
of
I
his-
know that.
Do you remember
Well
Marco
stocked.
Pierre White?
But he sold out on Oxo
He
cubes.
sold out on
Yeah,
Oxo
he
cubes.
did.
So
did.
every time he's like, oh, now I'm using the beef Oxo cube.
It's very sad what happened to Marco Pierre White. From a man of upstanding professionalism
A fall from grace.
to hawking Oxo cubes.
So you end up with people in this restaurant going, I love this ice cream, but why does it taste like a beef Oxo cube? It's put in everything. This corned beef has 0 sugars.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
So if you're looking for a sugar-free snack, this
Tax-free beef.
is it?
The sugar
The
tax.
sugar tax.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the sugar tax.
It's tax for sugar.
There we are. Thank you very much. It does. It
And they
is.
say we're not educational.
I'm not sure we are.
So this is a learning
Educational,
resource.
educated.
Is beef a soup?
Is beef for soup?
Yes,
Of course
I
it
think
is.
so. I think
Yeah.
so.
And once it's been agreed by us, we supersede the Supreme Court on the level.
Supersede.
Super
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
So this is, but it is high in salt and high in saturates.
I think we should try it.
It's got to be done.
I
hasn't
want
it?
to be
think so.
saturated.
Yeah. I want a bit that's not got melted
You can do the honours.
Okay, thank
Since
you.
you brought the
beef.
Could someone
Maybe a plate?
describe the
Oh,
look of
no.
the corned beef? Because I wonder.
That's a good
the,
point.
The audience
can't see it.
cannot see the beef.
Well, let's have a smell first.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, because it adds to the look, the
Yes.
smell.
Is that the case?
Oh,
I've not smelled
that is
awesome.
beefy. Have a smell of that.
I cannot smell since
Can't smell?
COVID many years ago.
Ah.
still
Yeah,
can't smell.
I'm.
I can smell it from here.
I wish I could.
Ah.
I wish I could.
So
Smells good.
describe the smell.
Smells like cat food.
Yeah, yeah. It smells like good.
Sort of, a
It smells
little
like
bit, yeah.
good cat food.
Or does cat food smell like this?
Yeah.
Ah.
No, this smells like cat
What
food.
came first, corned beef or cats?
Food.
Or cats. I think
Cats.
corned
Cows or
beef
cats
before
first?
cat food. I would have thought.
Cows or
No,
cats.
he's saying before cats.
Well,
Yeah.
cats surely would not exist without cat food.
But they're
'Cause they
corned
would-
that is
beef in
not
They would
True.
have nothing to
Egypt?
eat.
The saber-toothed tiger.
They would have nothing to eat.
The saber-toothed tiger.
I will
did not
die
eat
on
corned
the
beef.
hill that anything a cat eats is cat food, and that therefore,
Oh, like a bird.
yeah,
For a mouse.
it's cat food.
Yeah.
Anything.
Good sense.
I
Cat
guess.
food.
Yeah.
Are we going to put it on plates or are we going to just eat it with our hands?
This is not their house. I feel like we should kind of.
Whose house is this?
We've
Like, what's going on?
invited a comedian and myself. This is Matt and Hugh have invited both of us in, and I stepped in and went, "Oh, this is a lovely house," and then realised it's neither of their accommodation.
No.
It honestly feels like you've rented an Airbnb to shoot a pornography.
Yeah,
because
To shoot a pornography.
a pornography.
That's one
the
pornography.
one.
No,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
after Chris is out. You're not supposed to tell him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't stay for the porn.
It's a bit of a joke.
It's just the casting couch. in
No,
the
we-
corner.
yeah, the
We-
pleather-
and the broken,
sofa.
broken
God,
chairs.
This couch is white clean.
Yeah, it's easy white.
Anyway, we want to thank George and Abby for letting us come into their home. And
Where are they?
I don't know. Actually, George is on his way back, but I think he's going to miss you, sadly.
Okay. Oh,
I'm
that's
gonna
nice.
miss you too, to be fair.
Yeah, we all are. It's all
There's a
joint
very
hands.
sumptuous
around the
handshake
Hugh.
just occurred.
Where is corned beef?
Oh.
Well, it's on the table.
World
you
War.
bloody
World
rascal.
War.
World War?
World
Why
War.
was that?
The world.
The world.
I guess in some ways.
I've got a description of the look. I would describe it as
Okay.
an uncooked beef burger patty.
Although it is.
Although it is
smushed.
I have a couple of
Yeah.
facts to add.
More
The
facts.
British invented the term corned beef.
Yes.
I don't really, patriotism, but the clapping was overdone. Listener, I did not clap. I'd like to confirm.
No, me neither.
Neither did I.
I clapped heartily.
And thought about empire. Yeah,
The British invented
God.
to describe the salt kernels used to cure the meat, which were the size of corn kernels. So the salt they used
But
were
the meat was the size.
big salt.
That's
big
big salt.
salt.
That's
Big salt.
expensive salt.
Yeah.
Don't
How
get
big's a
salt
corn
that
kernel?
size anymore.
I don't know. Corn. Well, you've seen corn on the cob. You know what corn. You know how big corn is.
A kernel.
The kernel,
Like the
single-
unpopped bit.
a single kernel of corn.
Not the Colonel from KFC.
Colonel Sanders, yeah.
Yeah.
No. And after the Cattle Acts,
Oh.
which in capital letters, so I'm assuming this is an act of parliament,
Yeah. Although it's just very
Or it's a
loud.
stage show full of beef.
or possibly an Irish
Yeah.
parliamentary
It's a
degree.
war horse. but
Ireland
with
became the
cows.
hub for horn.
My granddad got cattle acts. He,
Oh, that
Please
was
don't snort over the corned beef.
that is true. That's unsanitary.
Yeah, slightly,
what you did.
slightly snotty. Now.
That's what he
Oh
did.
no.
That's
Yeah.
good. I have no more facts about corned beef.
There are no
Oh,
more
that's a
facts.
shame.
Let's dig in.
Cured Meats Live Tasting.
Let's do it.
Shall I get some
I
fork?
guess some forks.
We have very plates. I don't know, like how
Well,
how
they've,
upmarket this podcast is.
they've given us a lovely plastic plate in the form
They-
of the corned beef
Two
packet.
forks, 2 spoons.
Oh, I don't know which is
I'll have a spoon.
worse.
That's fine, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
They
Thanks.
were supposedly in.
This is a serving spoon.
It's a spoon.
No.
Well, you can get yourself a serving.
Well, we can make beef soup.
Corned beef.
I hope you want a good serving of it.
I don't really want to eat it.
No, I don't really want to eat it at all.
I'm sure it's
fine.
It's
quite
really,
nice,
really
yeah.
nice.
Take a tiny bit on the side of
Have you
that.
not had it before?
That is really that is
Again, we
pitiful
don't like
amount.
these.
Alright. So when I've had it before, it's been in like a sandwich.
Yeah.
It's
I think
lacking.
It's good kind of sandwich material.
Yeah.
Because you're getting a bit of protein, and it's quite flat as well. Wait, hold on.
Sloppy.
Quite flat.
On three?
Sandwich shaped.
On 3.
Prost.
Prost.
Chin chin.
Beef.
Tastes like beef.
Tastes like beef.
It's quite
Warm.
beefy.
It is very beefy.
Very
Yeah.
beefy.
It's more beefy than I expected, actually.
Oh, that's good.
I was expecting it to be fairly beefy, if I'm honest with you.
Big 98% beef.
No, it's pretty good, actually.
It's got a twang.
I've had much worse.
Got some salty
I'm gonna go back.
Much
Get
worse on this
raw.
podcast.
Yeah.
Actually, we don't usually eat any of the meats on the podcast.
Oh,
we had
sorry.
one.
Oh, this is the first
Can't be
time.
asked.
And what? You just look at it.
We're a bit lazy
Mm.
when it comes to that. Also, there's certain things we just, just
Won't eat.
like
I refuse to eat pepperoni. They smell terrible.
You never had a pepperoni?
No, but
Oh,
I
they're
remember
good.
what they smell like.
Yeah.
Does that
from
smell
childhood.
better though?
I don't know. Can't smell
Oh,
it.
okay.
I'm going
So
on
why,
vibes.
if you can't smell the pepperoni,
Because I remember what it smelled like from when I was a small boy.
and you never ate them,
No.
even as a small boy.
No. There are actually
Or
many
a large
foods I never
boy.
ate. When I was about 15, I realised that there's like a bunch of foods I never ate. And then
Which ones?
including
Yeah.
Oreos is a big
Oh,
one.
really?
Never had an Oreo in my entire life. I've never had HP sauce. That's a big one.
What?
Yeah. There's just a whole series of things. Salmon. And I was kind
you've
of...
never had salmon,
No.
any type of salmon,
Never
smoked.
had any type of salmon.
What, even though we did a whole smoked salmon episode,
And that is, may
You
I add,
didn't
my
eat-
cured meat of choice,
Yeah.
smoked salmon.
Yeah.
It has been done.
But I was kind of like, well, I'm 15 and it's kind of funny that I've never eaten these
so you
things.
combined them.
So I'm just going to never eat them.
Oh.
And I've just kind of kept it
I'm
going.
going to force them into your mouth at the point of death.
Don't tempt me with a good time, boy. I'll see you after class.
So,
Where is corned beef?
we've been through
It's a
this.
world
No, I don't know where it is.
Ireland, I think, is the...
That's
now
not the
become
world. Or the World War. Were Ireland in the World War?
I think it's become an Irish...
Yeah.
It's become
God sake.
Oh, it's a very patriotic episode today.
we're all dressed in red, white and blue.
I want a suit.
Yeah, you are.
Bringing in professionalism to the Kid Meats podcast that's been sad.
That's more meat.
Yeah, I did enjoy it.
Get a spoon
Yeah,
for
like
that.
true Brits, we're drinking French
It's a bit
beer.
wet as well.
It is a bit
Yeah,
wet.
sweaty.
I mean, that means it's not dry,
It's damp.
because that's the opposite of wet.
Well, cured is traditionally quite dry. A lot of cured meats are fairly dry because they're salted.
Yeah,
and
but it
they're-
has been in the car for a little while. I don't know if it's like sweaty.
extra cured.
Yeah.
This is card meats, not cured.
It's been enhanced by the flavour. What's your car?
It's a Honda Jazz.
It's been
Oh.
enhanced by the flavour
Not
of
that.
Honda Jazz.
Ooh, very good then.
And
Jazzy.
therefore, that's why it's developed its very delicate flavour. I'm sure.
And I've got some cheese in the car. I'm not gonna, well,
Yeah, that's
That's
not
gonna
going
be
to
That's not
like,
making
I
it
might
through the
pour
night.
cheese in, but like,
No.
it's not really that sort of podcast.
No, that's
You're doing like a cheese podcast. Right.
It's tradition
switch it
on.
up.
We could do a cheese podcast.
Throw it in
Alongside or
Oh, yeah, like adjacent to.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's-
It's,
there. Oh, like
It's,
something from
it's
episode
tradition on the Cubings podcast to talk about Florida Man stories.
it
Okay.
certainly is.
However, I haven't actually managed to find any corned beef Florida Man
That's pretty
stories.
crap, isn't it, Hugh?
one. It might be called something different.
However, I have got some additional news stories about corned beef.
ah,
So,
I
you
love
know,
the positivity of this.
yeah,
one.
it's
Yeah,
nice.
it's nice.
Yeah, great.
you know NASA.
It's not usually this kind of positive.
I mean,
It's
normally
this
we're-
is the worst podcast.
We're very anti each other, I think.
Okay, I weirdly brought you all together.
Yeah.
Diamonds are made under pressure, I feel, and therefore
Oh
just
my
the
God.
the pure anti-Christ.
Put it on your fucking mood board. Brilliant.
And I will. I have it tattooed on my
Diamonds
lower
are
back.
made under pressure. You get that tattooed across my lower back.
Yeah, I'm sat on a piece of coal. It's very uncomfortable, but I'm in it.
Just like corned beef.
Just like corned beef made under pressure.
Made under pressure.
Yeah.
We hope. NASA, 50 years ago, launched
Sorry, what's NASA?
the National
Association
for
smoked
Smoked
animals. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is.
That's
Yeah,
what it
absolutely.
is.
launched 2 men into space in the same space.
Watch 2 minutes.
And what is beef?
2 hours into the mission, but this was the first time two people had been sent to space at the same time.
Okay, when was this?
50 years ago.
Okay.
This was
About 1965.
Ah.
23rd of March. There's always good names.
And that's the
That's,
full day.
I would say that's
invented
nearly 60 years ago.
Well, you can say it, but no one appreciates you saying it.
Okay.
Ooh.
Thanks.
This podcast has turned.
Yeah.
That's a positive.
That's the flip coming
Yeah,
in.
no one liked his motivational speech, so now he is.
I'm now spitting.
shunned.
I'm resentful. I'm upset. I'm chocker full of corned meats, and I'm ready for a scrap.
Too much salt.
Yeah.
I'm so,
It's almost nitrates. I'm full of nitrates.
I'm seeing red, but it's all corn.
You're so preserved.
Yeah, I am. I'm shriveled as the night.
Tutankhamun
Beef in your eye.
I
Beef in your eye.
I'll outlive all of you guys. Yeah. Wrinkly and dry.
Not once have we had a story about that we've talked about in this podcast where one of the names hasn't been excellent.
That's true.
I don't remember quite what some of the old ones were,
No,
but
they were fun.
they were pretty good names. So this time we have Gus Grissom.
Gus Grissom.
Yeah.
Like Gus Grissom.
Like, that isn't that from
John Grisham is the author.
no, isn't that from CSI?
Ooh, Miami or
Yeah,
otherwise?
CSI.
Don't know, maybe.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
CSI.
Vegas, I think.
There is
The
a
four
huge
time. And John Young, the second one.
Okay, that's not
He's
That's
a
a much
not-
more
not
boring
very
name.
similar.
Yeah.
Neil Young's
Neil.
younger
It was
brother.
shrouded in controversy.
Oh,
Ooh.
When
shit.
Young, the boring
I
one,
love a shroud.
Turin.
I've always
love-
Turin
Yeah,
shroud.
yeah.
Controversy.
Let's do that as next week's week. Is the Turin shroud. We each eat a little slice. Become imbued with the power of God. And transcend to the next realm.
good.
Yeah, and that's when we begin.
Just like the astronauts as they were flying off
Yeah.
into the atmosphere.
And that's when we begin the cheese.
And when
podcast.
when Young brought out a corned beef sandwich that he'd hid in his spacesuit
It would have smelt him for a little while, I think.
inside his spacesuit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, because you
Ugh.
know,
Beefy.
This was
If-
post-launch.
This is post-launch.
this has the
In orbit. Took it out in,
In
orbit.
orbit. So it's the farthest flying cured meat, probably.
Yeah.
This is the furthest any
Any meat has
pig or
travelled.
cow.
It's one small step.
Not the furthest any dog
We'll
has ever
workshop
travelled,
it.
but
It's
the
gonna be in
furthest
the suit,
any
as if-
cow has ever travelled.
Have they not had spam on the space station? It seems like kind of space stations.
Yeah, to be fair, they almost certainly have.
The way I'm
Yeah.
looking at this kid meat, it
Not in
feels
the
like
can though.
it had to be in the suit.
We'd have an Ocean Gate controversy if it was within the can, surely.
Why?
The pressure.
Well, this is my worry. I feel like if you depressurize this
Yeah.
as it is,
Do you reckon it would go?
It
I
would-
reckon
yeah,
it would go out.
If you put it out the airlock, it probably would explode.
it's like when Homer opens his chips in space and they're going to fly out everywhere, but it would just like coat the entire ISS in a thin pink film.
Chris is going for more.
Yeah,
He's going for more.
it's fine.
It's fine.
But I think
We'll put
corned
that
beef can only be fine.
Yeah, we'll
It's
put
not
that on
like,
the
oh,
outside of the
that's delicious.
packet. Corned beef.
If
It's
corned
fine.
beef, if corned beef is a favourite meat, then write in. Can they write in?
They can.
They can,
At
they can.
curemespodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
I've currently received one email. over the
What is
past
it?
Year.
It was spam.
It was spam.
Oh,
we want to give you $1 billion.
So
What did it say?
What?
The email.
Oh, I was telling us to do something for an episode. I don't remember.
Okay.
This is on air gold.
It was
Yeah.
someone. It was someone who was with Tom, who is actually one of the people on the podcast. So, not exactly an
Oh, it was
external.
an
listener.
internal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Hugh's parents. Really well done.
Yeah.
Great job.
We are very proud.
Very proud.
This is what your £27,000 degree is going towards.
Mission
Central
Control.
salami.
Mission Control feared that the crumbs could damage the spacecraft system.
That is incredible. The crumbs.
The crumbs
Yeah.
of
They were both
No,
severely
the crumbs of the sandwich.
reprimanded.
the
They were,
bread.
they were both told off by US Congress.
But actually,
Both?
Yeah.
It was only one of them brought the sandwich.
Yeah,
Let's
but
throw the other one.
Maybe
Well,
the other
So
one.
did you offer it up?
I'm hearing that the offending article here was the bread and the crumbs.
Yeah, so we
leaving
should reprimand
leaving
bread.
corned beef actually is fully vindicated.
Yeah, just a bystander.
Ethically
Ethically
supreme
neutral
over the bread.
/ positive.
Switzerland.
Although it is a bit crummy. If you look at
Unfortunately, it was
kind of
inbred.
crumbs.
So
Yeah, it's bitty, certainly.
Have some more.
Thoughts on
I don't think you could get it into slices.
I mean,
Most working slices.
it purports to be in
like,
slices.
it's sort of one slice, one thick.
well, that's a slice is a slice is a slice. You know?
But it says minimum 4.
The minute it's like amalgamated one.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's one big slice.
It's one big slice.
one big happy slice.
And I think we've reached the critical part of the podcast now,
You think you have?
which we ask
The
our
climax.
guests.
Oh, of course.
if you were an ice cream, what sort of ice cream would you be?
So can I have a range of different...
Absolutely not.
Okay. So my questions are, do I have to be in a cone? Can I be in a tub? Can I be just in a bowl?
I think imagine you were on this is quite similar to, I'm sure, the Off Menu podcast. Imagine you were on the Off Menu podcast and you had a dream
Don't
ice cream.
plug other shit. Let's keep people
point.
focused.
We'll give
if
them-
you
we'll
were
give
on
them the
episode
traffic.
2 of
You
the
said
show,
plug other things. We were actually talking about a cheese podcast 10 minutes ago.
Self-run though,
that's
self-run.
self-run. It's in-house. It's in-house.
Right.
But imagine
It's in the network.
Podcast adjacent. Yeah.
Podcast adjacent.
you can be any type of ice cream in any form.
Okay.
What are you?
Let's be a baked Alaska with ice cream inside it.
Yep.
That's good. Because you got like meringue around the top,
Yeah.
so I might have like something else.
You've got to remind yourself you're not the meringue. You're the ice cream.
So you're within the meringue
You
casing.
can contextualize it.
Wait, am I the ice cream?
What
Yeah,
ice cream
you could be an
you
ice
be?
cream.
So you can contextualize yourself,
Oh,
like, but
okay.
you ultimately are the ice cream itself.
So I didn't know if I was choosing ice cream or if I
No.
was the ice cream.
If you were an ice cream,
You are
Would
the ice cream. You've been through
is the
this.
question, and there has been confusion on this in the past.
That's because it's a confusing question.
I think it's quite
I think
straightforward.
it's a fairly simple question, and also, may I say, timely.
Timely?
Timely.
Because it's
What do you mean timeless?
No, I mean,
because it's nearly Christmas. What like?
Christmas.
It's nearly ice cream.
Yeah,
Time.
ice cream o'clock.
It's exactly. It's ice cream o'clock.
He meant timeless.
Yeah. No, I will not be corrected on my own podcast.
This is the worst podcast I've been on today. So.
And also the best.
Yeah. It's in that gap.
We are still waiting on an answer though.
Sorry, right, we were having lulls though.
Yeah, everyone's upset.
So I'm going to go for, I think that's the most fun, to be inside a baked Alaska,
Yeah.
and I will be
This is all window dressing so far.
like pistachio ice cream.
The pistache.
Yeah.
Pistachio ice cream within a baked Alaska.
Like an
Yeah.
igloo.
enveloped
Yes.
in meringue.
Yeah. Because in a way, don't we all want to be enveloped by meringue?
I would
Yeah.
love that. I'd love that very much.
Coming up from
Pistachio-
the egg conversation as well.
Is pistachio ice cream just pistachio?
Enveloped in long egg.
In long egg meringue.
Instead of meringue, it's just long eggs round in sort of like woggles around the.
Or a pool noodle,
Yeah.
or a woggle of sorts. Well, you get a pool noodle with a gap down the middle.
You can make a long egg
So
and
you
a
could
pool noodle.
punch-
Oh my god, it's
In a
so
hot spring, you dip a pool noodle in full of egg. And you have,
I'm just going for hot spring and not like jacuzzi.
well, I don't know.
It's got to be cooked naturally in the wild.
It's got to be cooked free range.
Okay.
Exactly right.
Sure.
Exactly right.
natural hot spring.
Well, can we do it for the next one?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure we can. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what we got to answer.
fine.
I think that's perfect. So thank you for listening to another. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Kibby's podcast, and thank
If
you.
you like some corned beef, we can send it to you.
this exact
We'll post
corned
it to
beef.
you. This is the same one. Yeah.
If you give us a PO box,
Yeah. You can have
Some slightly warm,
Chris eat
sweaty meat.
That's
Just spit it into an envelope and just send it off.
Oh.
the kid meets promise.
Yeah.
and thank you very much, Ollie, for joining us.
That's okay.
And thank you very much, Chris, for joining us.
Yeah.
I hope you've enjoyed yourself.
No, it's been nice. I got to have some corned beef. I got to
Plug your
have
stuff, plug your stuff.
some fun.
To all of our listeners,
So if you
you might get 20.
if you go on the internet and search for Chris Norton Walker, you will find things.
Sorry, what's the internet? What is that?
So the internet, it's like corned beef,
Okay.
but in a small wire.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah,
Must be
You-
pretty
Just the one.
That's quite exciting,
Wow.
actually.
just
Yeah.
the one corned.
Is it?
beef.
Corned
Is it just
beef.
one slice or 4 slices?
Is corned beef like
It's
a
maximum.
whole?
Minimum
there's
one
or
wire.
is there more than one?
I don't know.
Plural. Is corned beef a plural? Have I?
Beeves is the plural of beef. B-E-V-E-S. Beeves.
Okay.
I've been holding on to that one. I've been holding on to that for 12 episodes.
And now it's the time. Just as we're wrapping up,
Yeah.
I've just opened it all up.
Called
Great.
beeves.
Anything you'd like to say to finish off the episode?
No, I've enjoyed the corned beefiness of this podcast.
Great.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for listening. And we'll see you next time, maybe.
Godspeed and beef your corns. Bye.
I mean, technically you won't see us, but that's fine.
That's alright.
Yeah, no, that.
Unless it's been recorded, we should record it.
What video?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
well,
we've
run it again.
we've considered it, but then we've thought careers, you know.
It's a very volatile situation out there. You're right.
What, you just go along to a job interview just like, we've heard just some problematic things on this corned beef podcast.
It's
Mostly about Empire, so
It does come up. It
You,
does.
I mean, you now can't be employed in this.
Matt has come
this-
out the worst of all of us. So
That is true.
It's,
Yeah.
it's your job on the line.
Yeah. No, I told my professional colleagues about the show.
Yeah.
in a moment of weakness.
You were just well drunk one evening.
Yeah, then I had to beg them not to listen.
They won't be.
they didn't take much begging, honestly. They were fine with it.
No, but like, as I say, it's been fun. I've done other podcasts where we've just been like, hey, come along and be on a podcast. I'm like, sure, okay. Then we get there just like, oh, we're just going to have a chat. There's no like structure. There's no like...
Whereas our pattern has
groundbreaking.
got us to success, yeah.
Yeah, at least there's some sort of structure.
You won't
As I
believe
say,
it.
other ones I've been on, just been like, let's just have a chat.
You won't believe this for a second. 25 million subscribers.
You're quite correct, I will not believe that.
That's actually good and proper because I made it up.
Somebody said you made 1,000 listens?
Yeah, overall.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
One person 1,000 times.
Surprisingly, I think 10% US listeners, despite not knowing any US people. So it's getting out there somewhere.
They love corned
Some
beef.
people are listening to it. Weirdos. Thank you, weirdos. for listening.
Schmucks, the lot of you.
We'll see you next time.
Say that you're sorry.
This was a special episode of the Cured Meats podcast featuring Chris Norton Walker. It was a Belgrave Boys production. Although we only use one mic, so the quality is a little bit shit. With music from Hugh and Matt.